The Your Mark on the World show is made possible by our sponsors, including Clean Energy Advisors.
Welcome to Your Mark on the World, bringing you another changemaker with champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, today. I'm usually Devin Thorpe. That's not a big surprise. Today, our guest is Jason Loyet, who is the CEO and founder of Solar Site Design. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Devin. Great to be with you again.
Well, we're thrilled to have you back. We're excited in part because our sponsor, Clean Energy Advisors, is an investor in your company. And so we're glad to have you back and have an excuse to talk to you more about what's going on in the solar industry. What are you seeing?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's an exciting time in solar. Our company, we've developed a solar marketplace platform that we are driving down soft costs in the solar energy industry, primarily customer acquisition, early design. Our goal is to get 2 to 5 construction quotes per commercial and industrial project through our marketplace. We've got 65 construction companies now that pay a membership fee to our marketplace nationwide. And we're building a way for business owners and CFOs and plant managers to get competitive bids through Solar Site Design and our nationwide army of commercial originators that are made up of B2B salespeople, commercial insurance agents, commercial realtors. Those are individuals that have deep relationships in local markets, and we're connecting them into the solar industry. They're out meeting with clients across the nation, and they're able to talk about solar as an investment. A business owner may have a wide open roof or may have land behind their warehouse. Now's the perfect time to look at solar. Our industry, I've been doing solar development for 12 years across the nation, and just since I joined the industry, we've driven down the cost of solar above 80%, and so there's some amazing investment tax credit that's available right now. Certain markets, including Massachusetts now, have a solar renewable energy credit. And so there has never been a better time in the world to look at solar as a way to produce power at your property. And that's what we're out educating the market. It's an exciting time. There's 5,000 solar installers now across the U.S. Solar's going distributive. Solar's going into local markets now.
Let's talk about a couple of things here, Jason. Let me just interject and ask a couple of questions. But one of the things that appears to be an issue these days is putting the project behind the meter. Tell us why that is, what that is, and why that's important, why that's going on.
That is what we are 100% focused on with Solar Site Design. We call it behind the meter. So that means that if you're a power producer or you're a power user, if you are that commercial facility or industrial facility, you're using a lot of electrons on site. And so what we focus on is the design elements of modeling that solar project behind the meter. That means you're using that power on site. Now, there may be times that you do sell back to the utility. However, it's very limited those times. And so that's the future of commercial and industrial solar. We have ways now that we didn't even have a couple years ago to model and design a solar project that you're going to use almost all that power on site. And the next big chapter is going to be storage. And so solar is a modular design. So you always start with energy efficiency. The next step is solar power. The next step will then be storage. And so now that we're modeling solar behind the meter, that's going to allow for us to look at your power needs on site and then your storage needs on site. What truly happens then is the utility is going to become the backup. The utility is not going away, but the utility is going to become the backup. And so probably not good for the coal companies to hear this, but coal is going to become the backup. You're going to have an energy choice. You've got a choice of how you're going to produce power, where you're going to use power, and fossil fuels are going to become your last choice. Not going away, but they become the last choice, and solar is going to lead.
And this is when you say that fossil fuels become your last choice, and solar is your first choice. You're not talking about 2045. You're talking about 2017, 2018, right?
Yes, sir. That's the beauty of this. In fact, we're a sunshot company. We won Sunshot Catalyst with U.S. Department of Energy, and it is really amazing. There's some incredible white papers that have been put out. U.S. Department of Energy thought that we would not hit sunshot numbers till 2021, maybe later. We've already hit those numbers.
What are those numbers?
Yeah, so the main ones are between $1.25 to $1.50 a watt. That's sunshot. Now, what you're seeing on the developer side and working with engineering, procurement, construction companies across the nation is that we're well under $2 a watt already nationwide on commercial and industrial projects. Residential is different. We don't focus on residential. We're exclusively focused on commercial industrial. However, commercial industrial projects are coming in well under $2 a watt, especially in a competitive marketplace like we built. And so those numbers now, that takes us nationwide. It's not going to work on every single project. I mean, we're still seeing utility rates that, could be at 5 cents a kilowatt hour, or they've been grandfathered in at a really, really low utility rate. It's very difficult for us to compete with the wholesale cost of coal or a really low utility rate. However, if you're a power user that is paying above 7 to 8 cents a kilowatt hour, definitely above 10 cents a kilowatt hour, and we're seeing that nationwide, solar can become the cheapest source of power that you can produce. We're seeing this now, not just worldwide, but even in rural markets across North America, across the U.S., rural electric co-ops sometimes. We're working with a farmer that he's paying above 12 cents a kilowatt hour in the Midwest. That means solar below $2 a watt is much cheaper than buying power from the utility.
How do you translate the cost per watt of installed power to kilowatt costs per hour?
Yes. Yeah. So when we're saying cost per watt on the installed cost of solar, so 100 kW at $2 a watt, that's a $200,000 project. And so what we're looking at is competing with, like, a lot of people ask us, well, what's my payback? What's my payback on solar for my commercial and industrial facility? The payback is based on your rate schedule. The payback is you're paying a different rate than the municipality or the utility next to you. And so our goal on the design side and representing an owner representing the owner on the project is to understand, what are you paying right now per kilowatt hour? Our goal is to meet or beat that long term on these projects. And so that's what we get laser focused on. That's why we require 12 months of utility data and 12 months of interval data. That means we do a comprehensive study of your property at the beginning to understand how much power you're using, how much you're paying per time of use during the course of the day. What is your cost? What is your rate schedule with the utility? And then what my team does is we build out a complete working model of your property to show you the aesthetics, how much power you can produce, or how much power you can produce at the site based on your available rooftop or available land. And then what we do is we model the system based on your usage then. And so our goal is to meet or beat your cost of traditional fossil fuel power from the utility. And that's what we're doing nationwide.
So generally, are commercial enterprises that you work with, are they paying the capital cost out of their own resources, financing it however they will, or are you installing those projects, financing them, and selling them power?
Devin, that's the really exciting time about this industry right now. So for instance, we just commissioned in the last 3 weeks a 282 kW project in Cherokee, Alabama, of all places. That owner, he's never been approached by a power purchase agreement. He's never been approached by Solar City on installing solar on his large commercial plant. However, he outlaid the capital himself to invest in solar himself. He took the benefits. He took the tax credits. He took the depreciation schedule. That's the beautiful thing with solar now, is that we're moving to solar ownership now. Business owners have a choice. I mean, we're seeing finance instruments that we didn't even have available 2 years ago. So there's definitely finance available out there on these projects. However, a business owner that is successful, they can take the tax credits, they can take the depreciation internally. They now have the choice now to own that project, work with a company like ours that aligns them with the top possible installer in their local market or a national company to drive down costs. That's where we're headed with solar right now, is that ownership is very powerful and it's going to make a big impact in local markets.
So the 282 kilowatt project at under $2 a watt would have cost about $500,000. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And just
so
to give you,
he was able to finance that himself, or with his commercial enterprise finance that his company did, and you didn't have to worry about the financing. You just had the installers go out and put the project together.
That's right. Yeah. And we always have, the business owners always has a choice also to work with his local bank. That's another important part to point out, is that the local banks now, they have experience in solar. It's not brand new. And another thing to point out, just to give you perspective on that project did get delivered under $2 a watt. Perfect example. Just 4 or 5 years ago, that project would have been in the $4 to $6, maybe even more per watt range. I mean, you could think of, just in that short period of time, how fast we've driven down commercial and industrial projects. A lot of business owners are not aware that the price of solar has come down this low. And that's what we're out there educating with our originators, letting everybody know that solar works now. Solar has hit numbers that we thought was going to take till 2021. It's happened in 2017. And we're here to work with them to get more solar out there.
Do those numbers require the tax credits to pencil, or do they pencil independent of those tax credits now?
Yeah, well, it's a 30% investment tax credit. It's important to point out, absolutely, that makes an impact on these projects. And successful businesses out there, I mean, I'm working with another large real estate group it's very important for them to get investment tax credits. And this is now becoming, it's a driver for a lot of businesses. I mean, we tell every business owner, we build out a complete working model and a preliminary pro forma on their project representing them. But we always ask them to go to their accountant to review the numbers, to review the tax code. And what normally happens is the accountant will dig in on it and they'll say, this is incredible. Business, you need to take this tax credit. And so it absolutely is a driver. We're very fortunate right now to be at a time when the price has come down so much on solar, and we still do have a 30% tax credit, because that was going to be taken. We all thought a year ago that it was going to expire, but it did get renewed. We have a runway, about a 4-year runway on that 30%. Then it begins to step down. Will it be
stepping down over those 4 years?
Correct. Yeah, it steps down. But that's the beautiful thing right now, is that solar's not going up. I don't care what anybody says. We're all getting better at solar now, not just on the manufacturing side, but on the soft cost. What our company is focused on, a complete soft cost solution for these projects. And so we're not planning on the price going up either. In fact, we're seeing ways every single month to continue to drive down the price on these projects. And so just because it's stepping down doesn't mean it's going away. But and the real big wild card out there is electric inflation. That's the really beautiful part of this, is that it's not getting any cheaper for utilities to produce fossil fuel power. especially on coal side. And so, as those prices go up, we normally project around a 3% electric inflation over the next 30 years. And that's a pretty conservative number. It could be much higher than that, especially in certain markets that are above 80% coal production. It could get very expensive to produce fossil fuel power. Those markets, we really believe, are the rise of the rest markets, the markets that have been very reliant on coal. They're going to see the highest electric inflation rate hikes, and that only benefits solar. And that's where we see the real big growth coming up in commercial industrial solar will be in those markets.
But it seems to me that the stepping down of the tax credits will offset, it's expected that it sort of offsets or the natural decline in the hard costs and soft costs of solar over the next 4 years, so that there isn't a reason to do it now, even though the costs of solar may decline economically. The tax credits go away and offset that. So there's no reason to be waiting to put solar on your building because the net cost probably is the same in 2017 or 2021. May as well get the benefits now, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's energy hedge now is what's happening. So, business owners that, they're seeing a lot of utilities now are changing rate structures. You're seeing this nationwide. They're moving to time of use billing structures. We're seeing it across the nation happening. And what that means is it's going to be more expensive to buy power, especially in those summer months. That's when solar produces its most power, is when the sun's at its highest. We're getting 8, 9, 10 hours of solar production during the course of the day. And that's where you're seeing a lot of utilities are placing the higher rate tariffs in those summer months. That only helps the solar industry. That only helps our case. And yeah, it's important. I mean, a lot of people say, well, are you competing in an incentive market? No. I mean, we do have the tax credits, but most of the projects that you're seeing, especially in the middle of the country, are, it works now. We're able to compete with fossil fuel sources of power right now that a lot of people did not predict even 5 years ago that our industry would be at that point. And now it's educating. It's getting, your listeners and businesses now to say, hey, I might have looked at a plan a few years ago on solar, but I can tell you right now, the economics are completely different today.
Yeah. Now, who are your customers, the direct customers that sign up with you and use your service? Who are they?
Yeah, we have over 65 construction companies that they pay a membership fee to be a part of our marketplace to get access to our projects. Now, every one of those companies right now has, they have a geographic range and they have a system size range. So our goal is to match the best 2 to 5 construction companies per project that will compete to get into your commercial or industrial project. And so like I've got a company in Dallas right now that one of the biggest builders in the nation of solar. However, they haven't set up a satellite office in Alabama or Missouri or, in the Northeast, but they're able to leverage our marketplace, projects that are being added into our marketplace to be able to enter into that market. We open up all of the data then on that property, on that project for that installer. They compete to get into that project. And that's how we're paid. We're paid by the construction companies for opening up the projects to them.
Where do the projects come from? How do you find the projects?
So those are from our originators. That's where we spend a lot of our time is we're out recruiting and training. We call them solar originators. These are individuals that, like I said, they have B2B relationships. They've sold lighting into a commercial facility. It's an insurance broker that, it's one of their clients that owns a warehouse. We train them on how to become a solar originator. They're paid to go out and talk to owners about representing them on their solar project as their agent. Once our originator is established as the agent of the project, that's where we're then going to our marketplace and we're able to connect that project into up to 5 construction quotes. And then the business owner decides which is the best construction company to work with, and we help them drive down costs through that entire cycle.
Excellent. And where do you find the originators? Are you looking for more originators? What's the situation there?
Always. That's where we're spending the most of our time right now is out. For instance, we're signing lighting companies right now. That's become a really important source for us. And individuals that have already sold energy products into a facility, solar becomes the next step, the next chapter. And so we're out meeting with a lot of these individuals that, and Jigger Shaw wrote in Climate Wealth's a book. Jigger Shaw is a hero in the solar industry, wrote a book called Climate Wealth. His call to action is that we need 100,000 salespeople in the solar industry immediately. That's what's going to change the solar industry, and that's what we're working on. Solar's complex. Sometimes it takes years to learn the solar industry. However, the relationships are key. Our goal is to connect business owners with a trusted relationship, and then we bring in the top installers in the nation to compete to get into that project. We believe that's the bridge that solves commercial and industrial solar and gets us into all 50 states.
Excellent. Well, Jason, one last question for you. What is your superpower?
Superpower. I think the superpower that I hear this a lot of times, and I love a lot of people what they say. Superpower would be, let me ask you real quick, Devin. Is it one that I want, or is it one that I have? Because I don't have any.
Think of it this way. What makes you good at your job?
Yeah, I think it's vision. Our industry, of course, it has its ups and downs, of course, but we all believe in the vision. We all believe that, our goal is to keep fossil fuels in the ground for the next generations. And I think, I look up to everybody that's on that path right now. It's a challenge. The big climate march happened last weekend. I respect all those people that are marching. They believe in what we're doing. There's a big DC march coming up here. I think those are the superheroes of the next generation, that they're building what the future is going to look like. And there's a lot of people against us, that's for sure. But we're all not going to stop.
Excellent. Well, Jason, we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. Before you go, tell us how people can learn more about what you're doing and connect with you personally.
Absolutely. www.solarsitedesign.com, S-I-T-E, design.com is our website. Definitely take a look at it if you're interested in origination, or if you're a construction company looking to grow your base of business. Definitely take a look. And then my email address is jason@solarsitedesign.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and definitely like to connect with everybody that's interested in solar.
Fantastic. Jason, thank you very much for being with us today. We wish you every success in scaling solar around the country.
Great work, Devin. Thanks for your show.
All righty. Let's do some good.
Clean Energy Advisors creates investment opportunities in the renewable energy sector that provide clients with predictable income, preservation of capital, and positive impact. Clean Energy Advisors is committed to providing clients with investment opportunities with both market rates of return and measurable impact.
Thank you for listening. This podcast was recorded via Google Hangouts on Air and is available at youtube.com/Devin Thorpe. Subscribe to this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes by searching for Your Mark on the World. Every weekday, Devin hosts a CEO, celebrity, entrepreneur, or other changemaker here on the Your Mark on the World show to inspire and prepare you to make your mark. Devin is a champion of social good, writing about, advocating for, and advising people who are doing good. He is a Forbes contributor who is a recognized thought leader in social entrepreneurship, impact investing, and crowdfunding. To book Devin as a speaker, visit devinthorpe.com. Learn more about Devin's work at yourmarkontheworld.com.